All warfare is based on deception. Hence, when we are able to attack, we must seem unable. When using our forces, we must appear inactive. Therefore, when we pull out a gun, we must make him believe it's a knife. Since the birth of the firearm, there have been those who tried to combine them with knives. But while bayonets provided battlefield success for centuries, inventions of the opposite kind have borne only disappointment. Scores of impractical and downright dangerous designs. But China believes they may have finally cracked the code, with a knife-gun hybrid made for the special forces, derived from Soviet blueprints, and refined over 2 generations. Combination melee weapons were invented by the Chinese. During the Song dynasty of the 10th century, they used spears equipped with early pyrotechnic devices to catch the enemy off guard. But centuries later, it was the Soviets who led edged weapon innovation in Eurasia, with the AK's 6H3 bayonet in 1959 and the NRS Scout firing knife in 1986. These are the 2 designs that seem to have inspired the Chinese to revisit knife-gun hybrids, with a model called the QSB-91. Introduced in 1991, it featured a 125mm Bowie-style clip-point blade and light serrations along the spine. Like the AK bayonet, it could also attach to the sheath to work as an impromptu wire cutter. But in the handle, a far more lethal weapon was concealed. A 4-shot firing mechanism chambered in the same caliber as the Chinese Type 64 sidearm. The Russians' knife gun is largely considered one of the worst weapons ever made. The blade and the barrel point in opposite directions, meaning one of them will always be aimed back at the user. The QSB-91 overcame this flaw by using a discrete multi-barrel system integrated entirely in the handle of the knife. 4 7.62mm handgun cartridges are loaded into separate chambers at the pommel. Then, an end cap containing the firing pin is screwed on. The double-action trigger is cleverly integrated as the handguard for the knife. With each pull, the single firing pin rotates 90 degrees to swap between each of the 4 barrels. It works effectively the same as a revolver, but rather than spinning the cylinder to bring each chamber up to the firing pin, it does the reverse, bringing the pin around in a circle. A set of iron sights are included on the handle, and a safety catch prevents it from going off while holstered. Despite an impressive barrel length of about 80mm, roughly the same as a modern compact carry, the effective range is claimed to be only about 10 meters. It touts a service life of up to 2,000 rounds, though it's hard to imagine such a specialized tool ever seeing that much use. Surprisingly, the QSB-91 performed well enough in the field to merit continued development. It likely inspired the offshoot Type 82-2 in the mid-90s, which came with a unique flip-out blade and 3 individual barrels chambered in .22 long rifle. But in 2011, the QSB-91 would receive an official successor, the QSB-11. Although the basic functioning remains the same, the controls of this updated design have been modified for a more ergonomic approach. The handle is now coated in a textured rubber grip. After complaints that the original 91 had too much recoil, the new gun has switched to the more modern 5.8 by 21mm caliber, a bottleneck round that's roughly as powerful as 380 ACP. Rather than using a rotating pin, each chamber now has its own independent firing mechanism, improving reliability. The awkward sight posts have also been replaced with slimmer notches. The trigger, which had a long and heavy pull on the QSB-91, is relocated to a push lever on the side of the handle. This not only allows the knife to have a real handguard, but also helps the shooter increase their rate of fire. A lever-style safety is mounted directly in front. But as improved as the QSB-11 is, becoming what I would consider the most practical knife-gun hybrid ever conceived, it still has quite a few drawbacks. The location of the barrels just below the blade makes them liable to get clogged whenever the knife is used, prone to fill with dirt, sawdust, or blood. Additionally, the handle's primary function as a firearm means the blade tang is likely compromised, possibly even more of a weak point than on the American M9. While it represents a huge stride in knife gun design, critics are still left to wonder why these hybrid weapons exist at all, when carrying a handgun and bayonet separately would provide far superior performance for only a little more weight. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and remember to subscribe for more knife history and tactical evolution.